The suspect act alone? And how do they protect New Yorkers and tourists against vehicles used as weapons? The victims, 5 friends killed gathering for their 30-year reunion. The mother of 2 visiting New York. And the patient, now a double amputee. And Brian Ross tonight with new reporting. The suspect allegedly planning his attack for weeks, actually visiting the path. The FBI swarming his home. Also tonight, the tense standoff at an elementary school. The father taking a 70-year-old teacher hostage. And the heated debate on Capitol Hill today. If you doubt Russian meddling, what our own Dan Harris discovered in Russia. What happens when he walks into this factory filled with writers?
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir, reporting tonight from Lower Manhattan.
Good evening tonight from New York City. We are here on the scene of the deadliest terror attack in this city since 9/11. And to give you an idea of where we're standing tonight, take a look over my shoulder here. We are in the shadow of One World Trade. That, of course, was built on the site of Ground Zero. It gives you an idea of just how far the suspect got and how close to Ground Zero he came. And just moments ago here, the police commissioner taking us to the crime scene. The weapon, of course, a truck rented from Home Depot. Authorities say the suspect deliberately veering onto a path for bicyclists and pedestrians, speeding down the path. The commissioner telling me striking people for almost a mile. It lasted 4 minutes, the truck not stopping until it smashed into a school bus. Along that path, 8 people killed, including a mother visiting New York, and 5 friends here for that high school reunion. The suspect running from the truck, a hero officer shooting him. Tonight, we now know the suspect, an immigrant from Uzbekistan who lived in several American cities. Authorities say he carefully planned this attack for Halloween. And the letter tonight discovered inside the truck. We begin here with ABC's Gio Benitez, right here on the scene.
They're stuck in here.
Tonight, inside that horror following that deadly truck attack, a mangled school bus brought to a standstill in the middle of the road.
Can you call 911? I got. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. I need an ambulance right here. Right here. The guy T-boned. Come on. There's a kid right there.
Firemen and police rush in, working frantically to get to the children inside. Just moments after, 29-year-old Sayfullo Saipov crashed into it. Authorities say Saipov had been planning the rampage for weeks, conducting prior reconnaissance of the very spot where he would drive onto that jogging path. Then, on the afternoon of Halloween, just after 2 p.m., renting a large truck at this Home Depot in Passaic, New Jersey. At 2:43 p.m., license plate readers that record every vehicle on the George Washington Bridge show him exiting the bridge into New York City. Minutes later, cameras outside of the Holland Tunnel show the truck swerving into the bike lane and mowing down pedestrians for nearly 20 blocks, almost a full mile.
We got multiple casualties. This is a mass casualty situation here.
Panicked witnesses saying there's a man waving a gun in the street, reportedly yelling in Arabic, Allahu Akbar.
I was just frozen for a couple seconds, and then I saw him running towards a group of kids, and I just didn't know if he was going to start shooting, where he was going to shoot.
Police officers on a separate call race to the scene. They see Saipov waving what we now know is a paintball gun and pellet gun. One officer shooting Saipov in the abdomen.
One of those officers, Brian Nash, takes action and fires his service weapon, bringing the attack to an end.
The suspect now on the ground, detained. In the wake of the attack, crumpled bicycles, some trying to help the injured. The engine from that truck that caused so much destruction still smoking. And inside the truck, officers finding knives, more fake pistols, and a note that said ISIS will endure forever. Tonight, 9 people are recovering in the hospital, 1 patient, a double amputee. All 4 patients with critical injuries are now stable. Authorities identifying the 8 victims who did not survive, 2 Americans, 32-year-old Darren Drake from New Jersey, his father describing him as the perfect son.
I'm not even angry. I'm not angry at all. I'm hurt.
And Nicholas Cleaves, a 23-year-old software engineer who had just graduated from college. 5 friends from Argentina visiting New York to celebrate their 30th anniversary of their high school graduation also lost their lives. And a mother of 2 from Belgium, her younger son just 3 months old.
And Gio Benitez joins us now live here in Lower Manhattan. And just moments ago, Gio, criminal charges filed against the driver. And now you've learned that in addition to that bike path, the suspect hoped for another target afterward.
That's right, David. He's now facing federal terrorism charges, and if he hadn't crashed, investigators say he was set to target the Brooklyn Bridge. David.
Gio Benitez leading us off tonight. Gio, thank you. And this evening we have new reporting here on just how long the suspect was planning this attack, his reconnaissance, and as you heard, actually visiting the path. Was he radicalized after he came to the U.S.? Tonight, what he revealed from his hospital bed, and how many others did he help get here? Here's ABC's chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross, tonight.
Federal agents and evidence technicians in protective booties swarmed the suspect's home in Paterson, New Jersey, as his wife Nozima, his 3 children, and others were escorted from the residence by the FBI. Tonight, authorities say it is clear Saifullah Saipov had been meticulously planning his attack, even renting a truck for a dry run last week.
He appears to have followed almost exactly to a T the instructions that ISIS has put out in its social media channels.
Federal officials say Saipov made a full confession from his hospital bed, even after being read his rights, that he was proud of what he had done, and even asked that an ISIS flag be hung from his room. And they say he specifically planned his attack for Halloween, knowing the streets would be crowded.
This is the biggest threat we face right now in this country, is individuals who, while in the United States, have become radicalized.
The 29-year-old immigrant moved around the U.S., from Tampa to Cincinnati to Cleveland to New Jersey, working as an Uber driver and a professional truck driver. Saipov grew up in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, living in this apartment building, and in 2010 came to America as part of what's called the U.S. Diversity Immigrant Visa Program for citizens of countries who have not sent many immigrants to the U.S. Today, President Trump revealed Saipov had helped bring many other Uzbeks to the U.S.
He was the point of contact, the primary point of contact for, and this is preliminarily, 23 people that came in or potentially came in with him. And that's not acceptable.
U.S. officials tell ABC News tonight that at least 2 of those 23 connected to Saipov were suspected of possible terror ties. Federal agents say Saipov was asked about those 2 men in 2015, but that no case against him was ever opened.
Brian Ross joins us live tonight. And Brian, you're also learning that the alleged attacker told police he became radicalized in just the past year?
Yes, David, authorities say it was all done online, that they found thousands of ISIS images and more than 90 propaganda videos on his cell phones, David.
Brian Ross back with us tonight. Brian, thank you. You could, of course, see the police presence right here over my shoulder. That's the intersection where the school bus collided with the pickup truck barreling down that path. And New York's Police Commissioner James O'Neill took me to the crime scene just a short time ago here. And we begin with one of the biggest concerns here in New York. Is this suspect a lone wolf, or did he have help? Are you concerned that the suspect wasn't acting alone?
That's always a concern whenever there's a terrorist event. That's part of the investigation. That's a major part of the investigation. To make sure that he knows he's here alone, who supported him.
Is there a chance he had help here in the U.S.?
Don't know. And that's part of the investigation.
Commissioner, I know this was a major concern for law enforcement, that there would come a time when someone would use a vehicle as a weapon. How do you protect against that for people who've watched this unfold?
It's difficult. I mean, it's a free, it's an open society. But we do it by being able to effectively investigate. We do it by having a uniformed presence throughout New York City. If you go to Times Square, you go to any of the major hubs, there's tens, dozens, maybe hundreds of cops.
Was he on your radar?
He might have been connected to some people that we were looking at.
Is there any fear that he was overlooked?
Again, that's part of what we're going to look at to make sure it didn't happen.
Commissioner, this is the bike path right behind you that he came barreling down?
Sure is.
How long do we think this path was now? About how many blocks did this guy barrel down this bike path?
He came in at Houston Street around 4 minutes after 3. He ended up down here at 8 minutes after 3. It's about 0.8 of a mile.
0.8 of a mile down this path right here.
Yeah, from Chambers Street up to Houston Street is 0.8 of a mile.
Then the commissioner shows us where the school bus turned off the highway and right into the path of that pickup truck. So the bus was coming down the highway and turning right here.
Turning right here, and the pickup truck was coming down the bike path. It hit him right where you see the turn.
And the bus actually spun the pickup this way.
Yeah.
Commissioner, we learned about that note in the truck left behind, that ISIS would endure forever. Are you fearful of more ISIS-inspired attacks here in New York City?
This is part of our job. No, it used to be it was about traditional crime. Now it's about fighting terrorism. This is what we do every day.
How would you describe this suspect who ended his rampage right here?
A deranged individual, and part of the investigation is going to see if there was a connection to anyone else here. I mean, just look at what he did yesterday, and look at who he attacked. No, this was a cowardly act.
But tonight you can't say for sure that he was acting alone.
Again, Dave, that's part of the investigation.
Commissioner, thank you.
Okay, anytime. Thanks, man. Thank you.
New York City's police commissioner with us just moments ago at the crime scene. President Trump, meanwhile, facing the first ISIS-related terror attack of his presidency within hours, tweeting about extreme vetting. Today, he called the suspect an animal who he would consider sending to Guantanamo. And he took political aim after this attack as well. Here's ABC's chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, tonight.
At a cabinet meeting today, President Trump declared that America must get tougher, calling the way the U.S. justice system deals with terrorists a joke.
So have to come up with punishment that's far quicker and far greater than the punishment these animals are getting right now. Because what we have right now is a joke, and it's a laughing stock.
In stark contrast to his response to the shooting in Las Vegas last month, when the White House for days said it was inappropriate to talk about politics or policy, within hours of the New York attack, the president unloaded in a series of political tweets. I have just ordered Homeland Security to step up our already extreme vetting program. Being politically correct is fine, but not for this. And at the break of dawn this morning, he launched into an attack against New York's own Senator Chuck Schumer, tweeting, "The terrorist came into our country through what is called the Diversity Visa Lottery Program, a Chuck Schumer beauty." Today, the White House insisted the president wasn't politicizing the tragedy.
The president has not blamed Senator Schumer and doesn't feel that the senator is responsible for the attack. We believe very strongly that the individual who carried out the attack is responsible and no one else.
The Diversity Visa Program, which was supported by Senator Schumer and signed into law by President George H.W. Bush, receives millions of applicants every year and provides visas to about 50,000 people, all of whom get background checks.
Diversity lottery sounds nice. It's not nice. It's not good. So we want to immediately work with Congress on the diversity lottery program, on terminating it, getting rid of it.
Live tonight from the White House, and John, we heard the president criticize the justice process as well in all of this for the terror suspects. And today he even said he would consider sending the alleged New York attacker to Guantanamo Bay. Can he do that?
Technically, he can do it, but any move to send the alleged attacker to Guantanamo Bay would certainly face a constitutional challenge. No one ever arrested on American soil has been sent to Gitmo, David. It's never happened.
John Karl, live at the White House tonight. John, thank you. We turn next here to the Russia investigation on Capitol Hill. Attorneys for Facebook, Google, and Twitter facing tough questions today about the Russians using their platforms to get to American voters. And tonight, Facebook once again upping the number of people who saw that Russian-linked content during the election to 150 million Americans, including their Instagram platform. Lawmakers blasting all three companies for not doing more to stop it. And if you ever had any doubts about Russian meddling, their efforts to influence Americans, tonight Dan Harris and what he discovered inside a nondescript building in St. Petersburg. It is safe to say they were not happy to see him.
I'm from ABC News in the United States. What's that?
We're in St. Petersburg, Russia, trying to get inside a building known as the Troll Factory.
Okay, easy.
Here we're told dozens of internet trolls are hard at work trying to exploit America's divisions. Security guards push us out, threatening to call the police. Not far away, we meet Ludmila Savchuk, a journalist who went undercover in 2015, working in the Troll Factory for about $700 a month.
What was your job when you were working there? What did you have to do all day?
She tells me she would invent fictional characters and then post under their names with topics carefully selected by her bosses. She says she and some of her fellow ex-trolls shot these undercover videos inside the building, showing tight security and rows of trolls typing away. This man, Alan Baskayev, told an independent liberal Russian TV station he worked in the unit that specifically targeted America. 1 minute, he said, you needed to be a redneck from Kentucky, and then later you had to be some kind of white dude from Minnesota, and then in 15 minutes, you need to be from New York, writing something in black slang. Tonight, lawmakers releasing several of the thousands of ads bought by Russian trolls. And just look at this tweet from during the election, falsely telling fans of Hillary Clinton they can avoid the line and vote from home. The trolls even using an image of the comedian Aziz Ansari. No wonder they didn't want to let us in to see their work.
And Dan Harris with us tonight. Dan, you're also learning that these Russian trolls went to extraordinary lengths to learn about America?
That's right, David. One ex-troll tells us some of his colleagues actually traveled here to the U.S. in order to better understand our culture. Another tells us the bosses made all of the trolls watch the Netflix show House of Cards.
House of Cards. Dan Harris, I know you're going to stay on this for both us and for Nightline. Thank you. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Wednesday. The elementary school takedown, the parent taking a 70-year-old teacher hostage. The standoff lasting hours, police surrounding the school. And you're going to learn why negotiators decided it was time to move in and what happened. The American family of 4 missing tonight in Brazil, and authorities with new information coming in. And the new headline this evening about Dustin Hoffman, the allegation from more than 30 years ago, and his response tonight. Much more news ahead. Next tonight, the school hostage takedown in California. A parent barricaded inside with a 70-year-old elementary school teacher. And ABC's Matt Gutman with how this ends.
Tonight, police say the man on that stretcher spent 7 hours holding a teacher hostage, barricaded in a classroom. Liz Reyes was in the office of the Castle View Elementary School near Los Angeles when she says 27-year-old Lavelle Kennan burst in.
He didn't seem like he was in a good place.
She says the principal tried to stop Kennan, a parent of a first grader, from getting onto the campus, and just moments later, a bloodied male teacher came in.
He said that he saw a teacher with headlocked, by this man.
The teacher in the headlock? A 70-year-old first grade teacher named Linda Montgomery.
She's been a teacher at this Castle View school since I was even in kindergarten, 20-something years.
SWAT teams descended. The students were safe, but police feared for that teacher.
He wasn't allowing the hostage to communicate with us, so it just her safety became peril.
And that's when the SWAT team moved in, David, killing Kennan. Now, that teacher, she was shaken, but physically unhurt. And tonight, the mystery for both the family and police is why Kennan did this. David.
We're just glad she's okay tonight. Matt Gutman, our thanks to you again. When we come back here tonight, the travel deals announced today. The airline's offering flights for just $49. And there is news tonight about Dustin Hoffman, the allegation dating back to a film 3 decades ago, and his response tonight. Of other news tonight, Dustin Hoffman accused of inappropriate behavior. A former intern claims he sexually harassed her at the age of 17 while filming the TV movie Death of a Salesman 3 decades ago. Hoffman releasing a statement apologizing for, quote, anything I might have done. The California family of 4 missing in Brazil tonight. America Strong. New York City police officer Ryan Nash, 28 years old, answering the call. This image tonight, the moment the deadly rampage ended. Also in that picture, a hero who stopped the suspect. 28-year-old NYPD officer Ryan Nash, just 5 years on the force, kneeling beside that suspect. Late today, Officer Nash describing his role.
Although I feel that we were just doing our job, like thousands of officers do every day, I understand the importance of yesterday's events and the role we played, and I'm grateful for the recognition.
Recognition for what he did after police say that suspect emerged from that smoking pickup truck, holding what appeared to be 2 weapons, waving them as he weaves in and out of traffic. Officer Nash was on the scene because of a call just 30 minutes earlier to a school right nearby.
Oh my God.
He fired when the suspect would not drop those fake weapons. Today, the commissioner telling me he and his partner acted with bravery.
Once again, the NYPD stepped up and stopped this threat immediately.